And there's the Sylas. Oh, God.
My God.
We've only just begun. One pick is locked in, and I'm already feeling like it's doomed.
It's like Top just heard our last 30 seconds of analysis. They was like, okay, we're gonna, Ucal, maybe if he gets a lane, he can shove in the mid lane. Maybe it's something they can work with, but they're like, nah, we're just gonna remove those auto shove mid laners, and then we're just gonna pick up the setup Sylas, likely for Knight. And TT playing with the idea of the Gnar, of course. Wayward had a very fantastic series on it last time around. Won't get his hands on it this time. Will be in the hands of Hoya. But of course, Gnar, just a strong pick on this patch in general. There's just not really many champions that counter him these days.
No, and I'm excited to see what Wayward will bring to the table against that Gnar, right? Because we talked about him being happy to just blind pick the Gnar in every single game, to go for that in the top lane and outplay whatever comes his way. I'm curious what his take is on how you beat the Gnar in the current meta. Aphelios locked in for Kepler here. And with Renata still available from that ban phase, Kalista take it off the board. I'm curious if Mark will go for the Renata to try and deny it from Yaoyao here, or if they want to go for a different direction.
Yeah, it's definitely a very curious thing to consider, because Top, they're going to go towards this Viego for Tian. No true surprise. Viego still pretty strong on this patch despite the nerfs, and playing with the idea of just going for the Sejuani. So full top side lock-in. So TT kind of have to make their choice in terms of, do they want their jungler now, or do they want to go towards that Renata, like you say, lock in the duo, and then look to potentially ban away some counters to the Renata. But they go towards the Poppy. They want to lock in, at the very least, their jungle matchup. So this gives Top Esports the opportunity to try and ban away some of those key supports that Aphelios likes to pair up with.
Yeah, and the Poppy, a really nice pickup here for Beichuan. We saw the clip earlier, right, of them separating the team with the Keeper's Verdict. And I feel like Poppy just an exceptionally strong jungler in this situation with Sylas and the Viego on the other team. Let's look at these bans, though, that are coming in thick and fast. Jamada, Draven taken away from JackeyLove, Renata that we talked about removed from the pool of Yaoyao. We'll see what else TT want to remove, and it is going to be that Lucian. So just trying to get rid of the aggression from the bottom side. Yeah,
I think the fact that Top Esports already have such a, potentially aggressive top side, they just don't want to have to deal with 3 lanes of just complete Armageddon and Bloodbath. So just removing away Draven Lucian, so you don't get like Draven Nautilus or like Nami Lucian when you already have the Aphelios lane. You're probably going to be looking to try and play it out a little bit passively. And on the opposite side, just going to take away Ucal's Ahri. So another sort of safety pick in the mid lane removed. Mid lane pool super pinched. I wonder what Ucal's going to go towards at this point. I expect that TT are going to hold on to counter pick for Yaoyao, as they already see the Sylas in the mid lane. But, I mean, there's not really too many options up. They're going to go towards Vex. So
Vex?
Definitely an interesting
I haven't seen
choice.
This pick in a while.
Yeah,
this is a weird... Oh, hang on a second. Oh, no. Brand new Sivir locked in, instantly paired with a Yuumi as well. My God, that was a fast rotation. And that is a scary bottom lane when you've already locked in Aphelios. Like, you're not going to have that much lane pressure. And even something like a Nautilus, Sivir has Spell Shield.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, I actually did a bit on the NLC about Sivir a couple of days ago, so I'm pretty versed on her. But one of the key things that Sivir used to do when she was in meta a few years ago was enable the melee champions on her team composition. What does Top have on the top side of their map? 3 meaty bruisers that just want to go in, and they have a Yuumi on top of it to boot.
Exactly. And on top of that, you also have Sejuani, who wants to have melee characters alongside her to proc the E, right? Like, it all just links up so well. Like, this is a brawl comp from Top Esports.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried for TT, just draft to draft, because this feels like such an oppressive team composition that Top Esports have put themselves together with. They have strong engage from Wayward on the top side when it comes to the skirmishes. Knight's going to be able to steal away a couple of the engage and team fight tools that TT already have in tow. I feel like, though, the options are definitely still there for TT, right? They've got this Vex combination. We've spoken about how, or Vex Leona combination, we've spoken about how TT like to try and split apart some of these skirmishes. I think the fact that, of course, Vex really does thrive in terms of picking off isolated targets with the ultimate, that could definitely come to a pretty positive benefit for them if they can actually try and set up vision perhaps in some kind of quadrant of a jungle, or try and find somewhere in a lane to pressure. I think that's likely going to be the bottom side. When you've got Sivir Yuumi early on, the priority isn't quite there, so hopefully for them they can try and play through the bottom side early on and then get things going from that point in the game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this Vex is going to do. This is the second time that Ucal will play Vex on the professional stage here. We'll have to see what he's going to bring to the table. And like you say, Vex can do well in these clustered up compositions. You know, you fear across everyone. So I can see the logic behind it. The Vex and the Poppy both feel like kind of a bit of denial, and the triple Yordle topside here coming out from the side of TT.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to see if they have what it takes, though, because I'm looking at the mid-jungle support trios here. I'm looking to see Yaoyao get out of that bottom lane, pair up with Beichuan, and try and set Ucal up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that has to be the key. Oh, boy. A little bit of poke.
Look at this already. Oh, my God. That's a lot of damage. Ignite is available for Mark if they want to keep going. They will back away in the end. A ward drop by Beichuan. We'll have time to reset before the minions come up.
Yeah, but Mark, crucially, got his gold from the support item, so it's just a massive W. Already ahead in the bottom side of the map. I mean, look, technically, you can even see in the HUD at the very top. 2.6k for top esports. They're up. Not doing too shabby, but like you say, I think definitely Beichuan, Yaoyao trying to link up with Ucal is going to be the key. There is a lot of CC in the trio of those champions, so if they can get towards the mid lane and actually try and shut down Knight, it's definitely a possibility, as that was a pretty cheeky ward clear, and that should give Knight level 2 as well on the first wave.
Exactly, right? Letting Knight last hit that ward means he'll have level 2 first in the mid lane, so Ucal does have to be cautious. Bear in mind, though, Knight does have the TP, whereas Ucal has Ignite, so it's a little bit more difficult for Knight to find that advantage. Plus, he's in a melee versus range matchup, so never going to be the easiest, as Mark does not care about being a kitty cat on a shoulder, just walks up to Yaoyao and starts hitting.
Chad, Mark, give me my spell thief's gold, Yaoyao, is basically what he says as he walks up to the Leona. But just taking a brief look.
He's not a spell thief, he's a spell mugger. Like, he just walks up, just biffs him, gets his paws out. Like, this is not your standard Yuumi right here.
No, it's not. But taking a brief look towards these junglers, I was going to say Beichuan's moving towards the bottom side to try and get level 3, but he wants a level 2 gank on this Poppy. Has the E, doesn't need steadfast presence for anything, really.
Oh, there it is. Flash in. JackeyLove stunned, but uses the cleanse, uses the flash himself. That'll be both summoners used to survive the play. Beichuan goes in to get a bit of damage here, but I don't think much more will come of that one. That's 2 summoners burnt, though, in trade of a flash from Yaoyao. I think TT will be happy with that. Yeah,
and that's meaningful, right? I mean, I guess, obviously, Yuumi is going to slowly heal JackeyLove back up, but having to burn through a couple of those pots, longsword, 2 longsword, and 3 pots, Kepler and JackeyLove are any kind of advantage they can get in the bottom side. It's definitely going to be a welcome one. Tian, though, eyeing up this mid lane. Knight could look for a little bit of setup, but you have to remember, Vex can fear them out of it.
Oh, but the fear didn't quite... I'm not sure if it didn't connect or it wasn't that long. Ucal forced to flash here. Tian, though, still on the chase right now. As is Knight. Flash is available. Beichuan over the wall here. It's a bit of damage there. Oh, the steadfast presence from Beichuan. That was beautiful. Over the wall. And now the fear on Tian. Can they turn it into a kill? Can they turn this into first blood against top esports Knight? Trying to buy space for his jungler as Ucal gets the fear. They're a couple more autos away, but they just can't quite finish it off.
Oh, Beichuan, that was so sick over the wall with the steadfast presence, but they can't find the 2v2. That would have been huge for them here, but Knight does blow his flash crucially. I mean, you have to do, of course, note that both the jungle and mid of TT Ucal, Beichuan, they also blew their flashes as well. Tian held onto his, so it's still technically an up trade in summoners in that thought process, but still that 2v2 so close.
Yeah, that was a tense one. This is what we were talking about before, right? When it comes to the early game, these skirmishes, that is where TT shine, and you can see already they are bringing it to top esports. They are not just going to go down without a fight, almost winning that mid-jungle 2v2 that we talked about so much before the game.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see whether or not, again, they can actually find a window. Now that Knight doesn't have flash, he is far more vulnerable, especially if Yaoyao can make it up there as Yaoyao.
Spell shield is beautiful.
Yeah. It's pretty obnoxious into the Leona. But
and crucially as well, we talked about the healing pot difference.
Yeah.
Well, the spell shield now heals you.
Oh, yeah.
So JackeyLove has that little bit of extra sustain in his kit now.
Yeah, I guess, I'm not sure if this is the first Sivir that we've had this week in the LPL. I've admittedly been a little bit overflowed.
There's been a little bit. When AD carries are banned out, there's some smatterings of Sivir.
So, for anybody who's not super familiar, though, with Sivir, all of her abilities basically got changed in one way or the other, and they pretty much just tried to gear her a little bit more towards crit. They wanted the lethality path gone. But more or less, Q flies out a little bit faster, comes back slower. W can now bounce onto multiple targets more than once. And like we said, Spell Shield heals people. And if she gets takedowns while she's popped that, I was going to say Thrill of the Hunt, but that's Rengar. It has Hunt in it. But anyway, the ultimate of Sivir, which makes everybody run faster. The duration increases and refreshes anytime a takedown happens. So it really does enable, again, a lot of these bruisers and melee champions and turns fights into a very, very fast snowball.
Yeah, you don't escape this Sivir anymore. And one of the most important changes in my mind is there's an extra passive on that ultimate that when it's active, autos reduce, or I think specifically crits, reduce the cooldown of the Q and the W for Sivir. So expect to see a lot of boomerangs flying around in the team fights later on. But Tian, pathing up towards his top side, will be spotted on a ward. We'll clear that on out. Maybe can go for a reset, but I think he wants to find something else first. He's moving towards the mid lane here. A nice, fairly low mana, but looks like it will just be the topside scuttle as pings on the dragon right here from TT.
Yeah, that could have been a bit risky because there was a lot of movement from the bottom side. You can see Yaoyao and Beichuan in the bottom side river, taking down this ocean dragon. Had a bit of a window of priority on the bottom side and will sneak this one away. Said that we expected Kepler and Yaoyao to have some of this early priority just by nature of Sivir and Yuumi. Not exactly going to give you all of the early sort of level 1 to 5 priority in the world. After that, once you get a couple of points in the Boomerang Blade, then you can start to really shove in those waves. But before then, TTF control the bottom side of the map. And speaking of control of the bottom side of the map, they're looking for a 4-man.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we wanted. TT bringing their A game. In they go under the tower. JackeyLove instant cleanse here, but look at the amount of CC. What are you going to do about it, Jackie? In they go. Ucal re-diving. And they managed to make it happen without a single casualty.
That was such a clean execution on TT's part. Take a bow, lads. That was excellent. And JackeyLove flash not quite up. The cleanse was available, but you can see when there's that much CC, it just doesn't even matter. The reduced tenacity doesn't even really play too much of a part. Sure, it gets him out of, I think, the second part, the Leona. Once the commit comes in, you can see the cleanse is pretty much instant on the Fear. The stun, not long, but the key thing is it still sets up for Beichuan to get that wall slam in. Ground comes in as well onto Mark, and everybody's just juggling tower aggro perfectly. Beichuan into Yaoyao, into no deaths. Clean stuff, TT.
Absolutely beautiful. And right now, TT are ahead in gold, 1,000 gold and a Drake Cup over top esports. Now that is not a sentence that I expected to say coming into this year, but they are doing it. And we said this is a skirmish squad. When they link up in the early game, it looks beautiful. And they prove us right with, honestly, one of the most immaculate dives I've seen all year.
Yeah, honestly, I have to agree with you. That was a very, very solid dive. And now they're moving this 3-man squad up towards the Rift Herald. They got a little bit of priority from, I was going to say Hoya, but it's actually, they've rotated Kepler up to the top side. It's Hoya on the weak side. Has to be a little bit careful. He's in a 3v1 at the moment. I'm sure he probably has a relatively good idea, but this is top esports saying, okay, we know you guys are taking the Herald. Kepler is showing in the top side. It's not a rotation we see very frequently these days. A full-blown bottom side to top lane for this Herald. You can see JackeyLove does get 2 plates off the bottom side tower, and Tian, of course, did trade at the very least a jungle cam, but Herald is here, and as you can see, Wayward nowhere to be found. This could be a whole tower, actually, with the Chakram available. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much of a trade, this positive trade this is for top esports, but given the situation, probably not too bad. Hoya, though, look at him.
Yeah, he's turned into Mega Gnar here. They're going to go for the dive anyway, and wow, he is gone real quick. Mark happy to take the tower. There's 2 plates. It will be first tower for TT. There's no way top esports can win this race, but ultimately, at least top esports are getting something on the map at the same time. Knight wants to go on Ucal. Oh my god, he predicts the flash. But I don't think
he's going for it!
Oh, yes, he can. He doesn't care about Yaoyao. Goes under the tower and baits Ucal out. That was gorgeous.
Absolutely insane from Knight right there. Just the brief backstep kind of baiting Ucal into a false sense of security takes him down. We're talking about that map trade there. That was really insane. Map trade, though, it's still Kepler on the Aphelios getting a whole bunch of plays, sharing it sure with Beichuan, but so much resources in comparison to JackeyLove, who's shared a lot of it with Mark and Tian, but for now won't get the full tower as Hoya and Yaoyao are going to return. So still up trade, I would say, for TT. Top esports, though, still responded as excellently as you'd expect from a team on an 11 win streak.
And I feel like we need to, okay, Let's take another look at the replay. This is the dive onto Hoya to start us off.
Yeah, so Hoya, I guess, just initially gets kind of chunked out. They try and execute him, but that's a really nice hop. And he sticks around to defend the tower because he's got the Mega Gnar bar filled up. But what you're going to see is that Tian, well, when you press your RK on Viego, you can't be CC'd. So unfortunately, he doesn't get slammed into the wall. I don't think it would have quite mattered in the end either way, as Ucal just kind of gets caught by Knight over the wall and steals away the ultimate, lands it. It's just one of those awkward situations where the flash is angled at one of those situations where you
There's
can't
only one
quite
way
get
you
out
can
of it.
go, yeah.
And backstep, really nice from Knight. Kind of baits Ucal in. I believe so.
I'm not even sure if that was Knight backstepping on purpose. I think he was actually just feared back, so maybe Ucal kind of outplaying himself a little bit there. I feel like we need to take a stock of where we're at in the game, though, because it has been a real fast early game here. We're 300 gold ahead in favor of TT right now. That is literally just the difference of that tower going down in favor of TT and JackeyLove not quite being able to finish the tower in the bottom side. Wayward! Trying to predict the flash that's on cooldown right there from Ucal. Will be stunned up here. The solar flare comes in, but it ain't gonna matter as the CC just lay it across, and it's an easy 2 for top esports. And well, we said TT were ahead. Not anymore.
Yeah, top esports said, what were you guys saying? It sounded like you said we were behind or something. No, we're not. 4-man to the mid lane. Short, the ultimate from Wayward flies wide, but we still get a bunch of the CC down. You can see some of the oppressiveness from the Steadfast presence into some of these champions, but it's just not quite enough to save you from a 4-man. JackeyLove, spell shield.
Nicely spell shielded there. He had a false sense of security. You know, his jungle and support were on the Drake, so felt like he was completely safe. But has to use the spell shield. Did use the ult just out of pure respect right there, but realizes he's safe. It will be the Infernal Drake taken by top esports. Cloud Soul this game. And 2 minutes still on the plates. It feels like we're a lot later in the game than we actually are. There's still 2 minutes of plates right now.
Yeah, it feels like we're sort of 17, 18 minutes into the game. It's been chock full of action so far. Cloud Souls, they're following me everywhere I go, man. It just doesn't matter. I've been cursed.
I think I've got a theory on this. Cloud Souls are the biggest example of confirmation bias in anything in the entire world.
Okay.
Like
I'm here
every caster believes that they get the most Cloud Souls, but Cloud Souls are just equivalent to everyone. Like it's just a fit of the games of Cloud Souls.
Whilst I do agree, I've kind of half been mentally taking account, and it's definitely like it feels like it's been about 35% of my games, like a third of the games that I've been on a broadcast for, or so just get Cloud Souls. And look.
Unlucky.
I slandered
EU Atlas.
EU Atlas. I slandered Clouds when I was over at the LEC. I slandered it this week when I was on the NLC. I'm not going to do it on the LPL as well. I think it's a worn subject.
Yeah, become the anti-cloud caster.
Just become the anti-cloud caster. I hate air. Like who?
Breathing's for suckers. Let's take a second though and kind of acknowledge where we are in the game again, because it's now 1,500 gold lead for top esports, and I think a few viewers might be wondering where the hell did that lead come from. Part of that is the fact that during the replay earlier on, 4 plates were taken mid. So that play onto Ucal and onto Yaoyao in the mid lane led to 4 plates for top esports. And now with 15 seconds left as well, JackeyLove takes a couple of tower shots, but he will be able to finish off that 5th plate. Solo gold right there, and the tower gold as well. So a lot into the pocket of JackeyLove. I would love to see AD carry gold right now to see who's ahead, right? Because Kepler got a bunch of plates in the top side, got that first tower. The CS is relatively even. I feel like they've got to be very close in gold.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're probably dead even, right? Tier 2 boots and an agility cloak, BF, longsword, no tier 2 boots. I'm trying to do the quick maths in my head, but it's not really my strong suit these days. Ucal.
Ucal's in big trouble here. Does get stunned up, but Knight's here alongside the enemy top laner. Hoya, though, he's already mega. Just slams him into the wall to save Ucal. And now the rest of the team moving on over. Beichuan, just a pixel short. And from denying there, that could have been beautiful.
Yeah, if that connected, then maybe they can commit on tonight, even with the Mega Gnar ult. Even though he's a little bit scary, I think it was definitely a possibility. And now, JackeyLove. Gonna get a little bit hurt. Has flash.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Yeah, he'll be fine on this one. Has the true damage as well, so Beichuan can't stick around for too long. But crucially, has a Yuumi, so he'll be able to sustain back up. And this is top esports going for a Herald, while TT look to trade it in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, could actually look to contest it as well. Kepler has okay guns, though he's running. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. He's still got okay guns. Goes towards the Caliber, but they're just going to let that Herald go. Trade it for the mid lane, like you say. No one on top esports can actually approach the mid lane, though. The wave gets cleared out. It seems like they're still going to give this one over. Not confident in the fact of stepping forward here. I think, to me, the fact that Knight still has that Mega Knight ultimate just says, all right, let's leave it be. Let's not flip it. They don't have Keeper's Verdict either. And just rather just give the objective for now.
I feel like this has been a little bit of a banger so far. We've not had that many kills in the grand scheme of things, but there has been, a lot of action, right? Yeah, it's been a very, very back and forth. It's been very, very action-packed. And I feel like, Jamada, you just bring bangers to the LPL. Like, last time we cast together, it was V5 Weibo. That was an absolute, like, that was the upset of the split so far.
You know what? You're welcome, guys. I will be here as frequently as I can be, I promise, if it gives you guys banger games. But let's see whether or not... I mean, hey, if TT upset the apple cart and actually take down top esports, is it confirmation bias at that point? Because we've said it, like, I bring the bangers and the meme games, like... Is it confirmation bias or is it actually...
That's not confirmation bias. That's just an objective fact at that stage, I'm pretty sure. All right, 35 seconds until your arch nemesis spawns on the map here. It feels like right now, a bit of posturing from TT3 players on the Drake, but JackeyLove getting priority in the mid lane. I feel like this is something top esports can fight for.
Absolutely, I think it's kind of a
JackeyLove really wants that tower. This is really greedy, man. He's spell shield to Boomerang, but he will get jumped on. Flashes away. Final chapter's a little wonky as Yaoyao trying to escape, but the true damage is too much. Wayward just in the middle of everyone. JackeyLove, it looked greedy, but he just baits him in. Trade 1 for 1, though. With the top laner going down for a support, I don't think that's worth it for top esports, but look at Knight waiting in the wings here. He wants to make a play. He wants to go in.
Ooh.
It will be top esports. Another spell shield. What is the cooldown on that spell shield?
20 seconds, give or take. 22, maybe.
It's the ultimate. JackeyLove's ultimate reduces his cooldowns when he autos.
True, yeah. that's a great point. Smart Munch. So
rework Sivir, baby.
Yeah, I really want to see more Sivir. I actually think there's a lot of room for it in this one, to be honest with you. When you take into consideration a lot of the compositions that we see these days, relatively short range. I feel like there's only what, like 4, 5-ish super long range champions in the meta at the moment. Kind of breeds room for Sivir to enable a lot of these champions, but replay JackeyLove, he just wants it. He really wants the goal, but he doesn't right-click the tower. In the end, the minions do get it. Spell shield is really great, and the flash away comes in. Like I say, final chapter, a little bit wonky just because he was trying to disengage the top side of the fight instead of what was directly in front of him, but Yaoyao still goes down on Wayward. Unfortunately, just pinned in place, cannot move. Really great body blocking as well from, I believe it was Beichuan, to stop that uptick assault.
That was the entire gang of top esports just playing Protect the President for JackeyLove. He way oversteps to try and finish that mid lane tower. He has to use his flash, but then Mark is on board. Tian with a stun to deny the initial engage. Then Wayward sacrifices his life to make sure that they can't take the AD carry.
It quite literally is like, you know those movies where it's like the main protagonist is like a bodyguard for someone that's super important, and then that super important somebody is always doing dumb stuff to nearly get themselves killed. That was just JackeyLove there, embodying that in about 15 seconds.
I mean, let's be honest. If there's any player that's a living protagonist, it's JackeyLove. That guy exudes protagonist energy. As Ucal will be able to find himself a tower in this bottom side. Herald dropped to the top lane, though. Top esports, they want to go 2 for 1. They want to buy one, get one free right here. As it's a trade, tier 1 for tier 1. But this Herald will get the charge on the tier 2. JackeyLove is here, and he will shred this tower with his 2-item Sivir.
Yeah, absolutely, he will. Sivir, 2 items before 20 minutes. That's a scary thought. Of old, any League boomers will remember 3-item Sivir. It feels as powerful at times as like level 16 Kassadin or Kayle, but maybe has a little less weight behind it in chat. But I think the fact now that top esports have this 2-item Sivir is going to kind of just allow them to do whatever they want on the map at this point. If they want to try and take control of the top side, pressure a Baron perhaps, to bait in TT so they can really abuse how strong their champions are at this moment in time, they could definitely look to do that just off the back of JackeyLove existing and making these guys run at Mac 9.
All right, if anyone, any of the LPL co-streamers or anyone who's watching right now, someone make an emote that's an Infinity Edge, because I feel like all of these 3-item AD carries, like, You could start the copy pasta like with Kale with the Monka W looking at the clock. You can do that with an IE instead. That's your 3-item spike for the AD carry, and that's your big moment like with the Kale, like with the Castle.
Do you remember 3 or 4 seasons ago when Sivir was in Meta and it was like, oh, it was a little bit longer actually, to be fair. And it would just be every single game. It was a very long time ago. But it would be Sivir hits 3 items at 30 minutes in the game and everyone's just like, okay, one team fight where Ricochet just murders everybody and maybe they can come back.
Dude, you're thinking of like season 2, I'm pretty sure. That was a real long time ago. But yeah, I do remember it because I also am very old. Let's talk about Baron, though. I don't want to go too far down memory lane because top esports 4,000 gold up here and in a commanding position. And this is a team that is never afraid to just pull the trigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think just having that 2-item AD carry already working towards the Infinity Edge, like you said, BF Sword already in pocket. Baron takedown an attempt pretty quick, especially you have to remember if Wayward's there providing the permafrost, that's going to stack up rather quickly and that Baron will get absolutely shredded. Well, it's up to them whether or not they want to flip. Okay.
Wayward just, he's pissed off at the Baron, just give it a little twat as he walks past.
Yeah, not just hit him with a flail once or twice, no problem. You can see TT really defensively posturing around the mid lane because they know right now top esports have control of the map. They don't really want to risk just kind of taking a fight randomly in the mid lane or getting engaged on, so they have to stick around to ensure that top don't get some kind of free engage. Yeah. But as you can see, there's just not really much control for TT to take in their own jungle at this point. So I expect them to give up this dragon and try and potentially look towards the Baron side. But top esports, again, they're going to have priority in all 3 lanes if they want it. And that's just going to enable them to do whatever they want on the map.
Yeah, Drake coming up in 20 seconds. You see the way, I love watching top esports move through the jungle. You see the way they kind of get pressure in one lane, use that to move into the jungle, drop vision and play towards the lane that's currently getting priority. Flank from Hoya though, he's about to turn Mega Gnar. JackeyLove is caught, and this time they can't protect him. 1 down, can they find the rest of the fight? And Beichuan just kicks Knight out of the situation, but Knight has Mega Gnar, dodges away from the ult from Ucal here. Tian on the backside. TT just staying as a death ball here.
Yeah, I mean, it could be dangerous though. Knight on the backside of the fight still has this Gnar ultimate. The dragon's getting bursted down. It's going to come down to a flip.
Oh, it's taken by Beichuan, and now the fight ensues. Tian trying to escape. Wayward on the backside as well. It's 4v5 here. In fact, 4v3 on the top side of the play. As Hoya just forced away by Knight in the meantime. Top esports somehow not losing anyone. Somehow still posturing aggressively. Tian, you've got to be real careful here, buddy.
Yeah, take a step back. I mean, for TT, it's nice to get that dragon just because it effectively delays any potential Elder Dragon, I suppose. So, can live happy with that one. Finding that pick was absolutely huge.
They just don't stop.
They don't stop.
I mean, just don't stop.
To be fair, they still have vision everywhere in this bottom side jungle. So, just willing to step forward and, hey, you know, Yuumi makes any champion in the game broken. So, Tian just emboldened by having the cat on his shoulder. Does Hoya see? He sees Tian on the sweeper. He wants it.
He's got the sweep. Oh, he wanted the Grom. He wanted the Grom. I don't think a kill is going down in either direction right here. Then again,
Tian doesn't have flash,
ultimate available. No flash available. Hoya's in mini now. Can Tian just 1v1 him right now? Doesn't have the ult, remember, but he does have a lot of damage. Oh my days. That was so close, but Hoya finds his solo kill, and Wayward's caught on the top side as well. Knight wants to turn the play around, but see you later, Knight. Batter up, Beichuan.
Oh boy, I mean, top esports on both sides of the map just getting a little bit greedy. I'm not sure how Wayward ended up where he was, but now TT potentially have an angle at the Baron. Knight as well in trouble.
Knight in literally a 1v4. He chose this, and now JackeyLove arriving as well. He's got the Vex ultimate. He can fly back into the fray here, but JackeyLove just finishes the kill off. Oh, the reset. It goes slightly wide. Knight can't quite get it. JackeyLove now being a little too aggressive, but Beichuan moves in to buy space. Knight on the front line goes down. Kepler trying to out DPS the Sivir. Can he do it? Flashes forward. JackeyLove one more auto, just kiting it out, and then the boomerangs fly. It's a quadra kill for JackeyLove.
JackeyLove spaced that one out so perfectly with the Yuumi on his back, just waiting for Mark to heal him up. And that's all it takes. Unfortunately, TT just a little bit too, I don't know, just undecisive on trying to commit forward. Unfortunately, it felt like Kepler perhaps was expecting another boomerang blade out and he didn't have the HP to survive it. Had the shrine there from the scuttle to get the movement speed to get those last couple of autos in, but doesn't step up far forward enough. And now Top Esports, they're going to pick up the Baron off the back of that play from JackeyLove.
Yeah, the Master Chief on his shoulder the whole time with the 117 scoreline for Mark. Let's take another look, because the way Knight played this, you know, initially a little dicey, but later on really intelligent. The way that these carries play together.
Yeah, it was greedy, to say the least, stepping up into that one before. JackeyLove was still rotating up from the mid lane, and even though Yaoyao dies, he still gets the reset Knight with the ultimate, misses out on it, unfortunately, but you can see Kepler has the red-white. He's ready to go for this fight. Beichuan gets shredded. It was a really nice W there to stop Knight from diving forward. You can see at this point, Kepler is so confident in his DPS, but he's scared of the boomerang blade. Unfortunately, Ucal doesn't hit his abilities because JackeyLove just sidesteps them. And it's just great movement from JackeyLove and a little bit of hesitation from TT. They didn't want to commit forward.
And that is just like, the second you hesitate, JackeyLove will kill you. And you see Kepler hesitates, Ucal doesn't. They are suddenly not a pair, and JackeyLove's like, right, 1v1, I could take either of you. Immediately deals with Ucal, then deals with Kepler. Beautiful play from the superstar AD carry, it has to be said. JackeyLove having a hell of a split, blocking the keeper's verdict here. He ain't going nowhere. Solar Flare comes on in. There's Hoya. That's a big Mega Knot. Final chapter, though, kind of ruins the play as Top Esports just stand their ground. In comes Wayward as well as Beichuan next to go down. Another double for JackeyLove. Should we have the double quadra? Should we have them back-to-back for JackeyLove here? Is Kepler chased down by Wayward and Tian, and Ucal limps over to the mid lane wondering what went wrong.
Man, oh man, this game went from 0 to 100 really quickly. It felt like TT only 10 minutes ago had an okay foothold to play out this game. JackeyLove on the Sivir came online. We spoke about it. We literally said it's as scary, Sivir at 3 IMs, as a KO at 16 Auric Acid. And he has taken over this game at that skirmish in front of the Baron. And that's Top Esports.
Oh my god, look at him go. This is terrifying to witness, honestly. Yaoyao will survive with his life. The Nexus Bear, and it will be Top Esports finishing this one off. JackeyLove just last hitting the wards as it's 14-7. And like you say, 0 to 100 right there. The second, the third item is finished for JackeyLove. Like, how many times that game did we see Top Esports confidently walk up with a numbers disadvantage and try and take the fight anyway? It is mind-blowing watching the way this team plays.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think as soon as JackeyLove had those items, it just kind of emboldened, really just made everybody on Top Esports super confident to just say, okay, we could take the fight now. JackeyLove will murder everybody as long as we keep him alive. And yeah, definitely a little bit shaky in the early game from the Top Esports perspective, right? I think you can actually give a lot of credit to TT. And I think we said and kind of praised some of their abilities to find some of these skirmishes in the early game. It started to come to fruition, but unfortunately, there wasn't enough consistency in looking for those picks. And to me, it was all about that 4-man in the mid lane from Top Esports where they killed off both Beichuan and Ucal. And from there, it felt like... Unfortunately, they just ceded control of the rest of the map for TT, and there was not too much that they could get going for themselves.
But isn't that just the story of every Top Esports game? Like, when they're against other top teams, it's a scrap in the early game for control, and then Top Esports wins just one significant play, and the snowball is so massive right off of the one play that the other team never gets a look in again. And that feels like what's happened here today. As you said, though, TT, a really good early game. Like, the dive early on, that 4-man dive onto JackeyLove and Mark was honestly beautiful. Like, if you missed that, go back. I'm sure somebody clipped it because that was as immaculate as they come. But beyond that, once we got later on into the game, I mean, look at JackeyLove's damage, man. It speaks for itself. He
almost dealt as much damage as his entire team. Just for confirmation, he's not far off. I think 5,000 damage and he would have been about there. Absolutely insane game out of JackeyLove. But again, the composition enabled it, right? You got 3 bruises as Yuumi on your back. And unfortunately, TT's backline access wasn't as consistent as they would have liked it. We said Ucal had to try and find a couple of angles. Yaoyao wasn't always consistently able to find the mark on some of those engages. Hoya as well, though, I will say, had a pretty strong game. Almost brought TT back in with that flank at that 4th dragon fight, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough in it. What are you giggling at? Is it the damage still?
47.5% of the team's damage? Good God. That is something else, man. JackeyLove is a monster. And remember, this is a whole team effort, right?
Yes.
The rest of the team were literally playing Protect the President for JackeyLove, but man, JackeyLove makes a good president. That's all I'm saying.
JackeyLove seems to be making a pretty good president. I wonder who's going to get MVP for this game, Munch. It's such a conundrum. I wonder who it would be.
It's going to be Mark for all of the heals.
True. Yuumi pressing E key for the entire game, I'm sure. He probably had a wonderful time right in the back of JackeyLove there. Definitely. I will say, I enjoy watching Mark's Yuumi far more than anyone else's Yuumi, because that trade early on at level 1 where he just walks up to Yaoyao like, what are you going to do about it, buddy? Just literally mugs him for the Spell Thief's gold. Right, we're going to jump to break. We'll see what TT have right after, or